Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Before I talk about the series with the LA Angels, give you some update on a few things I have commented on over the past few weeks. This information courtesy of the broadcast team, Masson broadcast team, Kevin Brown, Jim Palmer, and Brett Hollander. And maybe it was Kevin Brown saying this, but being that the Orioles were in LA playing the Angels, they were able to talk to Phil Nevin, the manager of the Angels, get some insight into why Webb was DFA'd by them. Let's pause that. What Nevin wanted, he wanted a pitcher that had more length in the pen. And sadly for them, it meant Webb was the odd man out. They did want to keep him, but they wanted somebody that could pitch 2 or 3 innings every other night or so. Be perfectly honest, I think they had it with Webb based on what we've seen here, but however. Also, something they relayed to the fans was that, and this is something they got from Elias and the front office staff, was that they are waiting for inflammation to go down in Felix Batista's arm before they do some of these significant tests to figure out what it is. Been 2 weeks. I mean, hey, that's what they're going with. That's what they're going with. That absolutely is a thing. You do want the inflammation to go down. You can get a more accurate reading from your test, but 2 weeks seems to be a long time. Jim Palmer did speculate that it is possible that it's just a UCL sprain, and there would be some potential for us to see Felix Batista. There's the update. All right, let's get to this past series. You can see I am on MassonSports.com. The Orioles were able to sweep the Angels, though it did take extra innings on Tuesday's game. But let's get to Monday's game. Baltimore Orioles 6, Los Angeles Angels 3. And as you can see here, Hayes leading off, Santander second, who's a lefty on the mound. So Henderson dropped a bit. And no Rutschman. Oh my God. Adley Rutschman finally not have to play a game? Thank you. Thank you, Brandon Hyde, for getting the man a day off. So, Hayes turned the lead off, 1 for 4 with an RBI, also walked once and scored a run. Santander DHing in this one, 1 for 5. Ryan Mountcastle hitting third, 2 for 4, 1 RBI, also walked once and scored twice. Gunnar Henderson, 2 for 5, 3 RBIs, also scored once. Jordan Westburg, 2 for 4. Aaron Hicks, 1 for 3. So, very nice to see Aaron Hicks play a full series with the Orioles and not get injured. So, I mean, he has done it, but it's been a bit. 1 for 3, an RBI, also walked once. Mullins, 0 for. McCann, 0 for. Mateo, 1 for 3. Also walked once. Very good. Mateo made several great defensive plays this series, which the Orioles actually faced 3 left-handers, so that's why Mateo got a little bit more playing time this series than maybe in some other series. All right, Hayes, Henderson, Westburg, doubles. Henderson, home run. That's where 3 RBIs came from. The Angels have a fancy-looking video board out there in right field. Kind of similar to the way the Orioles have theirs in right field, except for the Angels, it's a little bit more in right center. Hit that thing, look like he hit that. It was like a straight laser line drive right on that Budweiser. I guess it's an advertisement board. Advertising Budweiser. Hit the Budweiser. I guess he wanted something to drink. Caught stealing Mountcastle. It also says Mountcastle picked off. I don't think that was two separate instances, but I cannot remember. The Orioles were able to turn several double plays in this series. Very good to see. Especially when, guys like Urias and Mateo were in there. We usually don't play as much. Grayson Rodriguez got the start in this one. Pitched 6 innings, which is great. Gave up 7 hits, which isn't a little more than you would have liked. Only gave up 2 runs. Did walk 2, which isn't great. I mean, I guess it's more the 2 walks with the 7 hits. You would rather one of those numbers be a few less. But 7 strikeouts. He really has kind of cemented himself as one of the top 2 or 3 in this rotation. Sadly, I think Gibson's, we'll call them inconsistent starts over the past month or 2 has kind of dropped him in the pecking order, I guess. Webb pitched 1 inning against his former team. No hits, no runs, no walks. Struck out 1. DL Hall. Nice to see DL Hall in situations with the game on the line. You don't really like to see him, as you can see, give up 1 hit and a run, which may have been a home run. Yes, Brandon Drury. Might be how you actually pronounce that. But it's only solo home run, so it's not terrible. He is young. He's getting his feet wet. He's trying to get in high leverage situations. It's, it's a work in progress with him. Just getting mentally ready. He's got the arm for it. He's got to mentally stone cold out there, ready to get some outs. Cano comes in the 9th, gets a save, pitches 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. But got the save. So that works. Game 2 was a lot closer. This actually took extra innings. And some, as you can see, 2 in the 9th, 1 in the 10th. So Orioles scored that. So they were losing. Actually, they were winning for a majority of the game. You can see a 2 spot in the 3rd, but then let the game get tied in the 7th, and then Angels took the lead in the 8th. Not that good. Rutschman back in here. 1 for 2 with an RBI. Walked 3 times. That is why Rutschman is leading off. It isn't necessarily his high average or his ability to slap a ball this way or slap a ball that way or hit home runs. It is the on-base percentage. Very high on-base percentage here in this series. Mountcastle hit number 2. Again, another lefty. 3 for 5, 1 RBI. Santander, 1 for 4. Mullins did pinch hit later just to get Santander, some rest. Hayes, 1 for 5, did score a run. Henderson, 1 for 5. Westberg, 1 for 5 with an RBI. Hicks, 2 for 5. McKenna, 0 for. McKenna in there, got to get some time off, like, say, Mullins. Mullins was available to pinch. He pinch ran for Santander. He's available to pinch run because he got the day off from starting, at least initially. Frazier, you can see pinch hit for McKenna late. So Frazier 1 for 1 with a run scored. Mateo did get to start. He was 1 for 3 with a run scored. And you can see O'Hearn pinch hit late. 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. So that's what it was in the ninth inning. It's how they orchestrated that. Frazier pinch hitting there. O'Hearn pinch hitting right after him. Some of your big clutch guys that you left off the bench because it's a lefty starter. Frazier, Santander, Henderson, Westberg doubles. Mateo gets another stolen base. Dean Kramer, this is a little bit of a blow-up game for the rotation here. Well, I guess not necessarily the rotation for Kramer. He didn't give up a whole lot of anything. But the bullpen kind of being taxed as it was, especially in this game, they ended up giving up a lot. Kramer went 4 2/3. His pitch count really got up there. Gave up 4 hits. No runs, though. Walked 3. Struck out 5. You don't like to see the 3 walks in less than 5 innings. Of course, at the same time, the strike zone was absolute trash. CNL Perez gets 3 outs in relief of Kramer. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. All right, Jorge Lopez being utilized. Haven't seen a whole lot from him since his return. Wasn't a great outing. He only gets 2 outs in relief of Perez. And while he was getting those 2 outs, he also gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. He did strike out 2. So, while he did give up the runs, he did strike out his only 2 people. Not sure why Coulomb gets the blown save here. I can't exactly remember. Yeah, why does Lopez get a hold? He gave up the lead. He gave up the 2 and it was tied. To me, that's not a hold. Wait, where would we be at? This would be the 5th inning with 2 outs. And he gets the last out in the 6th. And then he gets the first out in the 7th? Yes. So with 1 out in the 7th, Coulomb comes in. And so he gets the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, right? Very sporadic with the numbers of innings pitched here with the guys here. And so Coulomb got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning and the first out of the 8th inning. Now, it does say that Coulomb gets the blown save. I'm not 100% sure why. He only gave up 1 hit, did strike out 1. Webb comes in to try and finish off, what would this be, the 8th, right? Gives up 2 hits and a run. That run is not charged to Coulomb, so wouldn't it be Webb that gets a blown save? I don't know. D.L. Hall also gets a blown save. Because Webb gives up this run in the 8th, and D.L. Hall gives up 1 in the 9th. D.L. Hall, again, pitching the 9th inning. What is the score at this point? The Orioles would have been up by 1. So D.L. Hall in trying to get the save. He's only able to get 2 outs as he gives up 2 hits, 1 run, and walks 1. But again, he's young. He did look, what's the word I want to look? We'll say flustered on the mound out there trying to get that save. He's a young guy. It was a big moment. Now, yes, it is only the Angels, but you're in there in a closer spot and you only got a 1-run lead. So you certainly understand that. Crable in relief of DL Hall to finish out the ninth. Gets it very quickly. Where does it say batter's face? Batter's face. Crable faced one batter. Pitches. Crable pitched. He threw 3 pitches. Was able to get the one out, which is fantastic. Fujinami in the 10th. This is with the lead, with a 1-run lead. And Brandon Hyde was asked in the post-game press conference. And I really liked his answer. It was a really great answer, and it was really great reasoning, too. Because of the extra runner in extra innings on second base, strikeouts are very, very, very useful in situations like that. Because it doesn't allow the runner to move up. Ground ball to, let's say, a second baseman would allow a runner to move up. Ball hit to the outfield, even though it may be caught, depending on the depth, also may allow a runner to move up. So Brandon Hyde was like, I didn't want to use Fujinami earlier because in a tie game, I'd rather have Fujinami, big strikeout guy, with that extra runner on. So Fujinami pitches the 10th inning, the whole 10th inning, doesn't give up a hit, a run, or a walk, and strikes out 2. So there you go. Now, yes, wasn't as a decisive, huge win as you would have liked. They had to scrape and they had to claw and they had to get clutch hits and get some clutch pitching performances from, let's call it, some of the lower men on the totem pole in the bullpen. But they were able to get the win, and they did it as a team, which is really unique about at least this team in Major League Baseball. A lot of teams rely on that really great starting pitcher, that ace, very dominant closer. Not that the Orioles hadn't had that, and maybe a superstar hitter. It's not how the Orioles are doing things. Let's come to, what is this, Wednesday's game. This was the big win I just alluded to. Baltimore Orioles 10, Los Angeles Angels 3 to finish off the sweep in Anaheim of Los Angeles, Yorba Linda, wherever it's called. All of those, I think, is accurate. Maybe. Rutschman, DH this time. 0 for 5. Did walk once. So, not great, but again, was able to work a walk, which is nice. Mountcastle 1 for 4. Also worked a walk and scored twice. Santander back out there in right field. 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, also worked a walk and scored twice. Mullins, defensive replacement late. Mullins went in for Santander. And Hicks, who had gotten a start in center field, moved over to right and then was later replaced by McKenna. Hayes actually got the cleanup spot in this one. Well, this was the right time to do it. 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs scored. Wow. Been a while since we've seen Austin Hayes put up numbers like that, but did it at the right time. Henderson, 0 for 5. Wow. Happened a little too many more times than you would like that Henderson and Rutschman are combining for 0 for 10. Urias, 3 for 5 with an RBI. Hicks, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, also worked a walk. McKenna, defensive replacement. McKenna and Mullins did not get at-bats. James McCann, 0 for 4, but did work a walk and score once. Mateo, how did he get... Okay, Mateo 0 for 4, but he walked once. And was this an error? Yeah, this was an error. He was allowed to get on base, so that's why the 2 runs. Hayes, double, Santander, and Hayes, home runs. Mateo, stolen base again. Orioles turned 3 double plays last night. Those double plays were behind Kyle Gibson. Not an okay outing, not a fantastic outing. Gibson did go 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, walked 2, only struck out 3. But what was it in all these numbers that they keep track of? One of them is strikeouts by a team during the season. Well, one of these 3 strikeouts for Kyle Gibson was the one that tied, and then the one that took the lead from the record from last year's Baltimore Orioles. So here you are, early September, and you've already surpassed your strikeout numbers as a pitching staff. It's pretty good. Perez, 1 inning in relief of Gibson. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Well, I mean, at least you're stacking zeros, CNL. Fujinami in relief of CNL Perez. 1 inning pitched. Gave up 1 hit, but no runs, no walks. Struck out 1. Cole Irvin, more on that in a minute. Finishes off the game. Pitches the 9th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks. 1 strikeout. Very decisive victory here, though it is disappointing. You had a lot of offers in there, which is kind of odd that you were able to score 10 runs, but Mountcastle or Henderson didn't have anything to do with it. That's, well, that goes to what I'm talking about. The Orioles do this as a team instead of relying on 1 or 2 superstars. Well, 3rd win. Swept the series with the Angels. All right, let's check out one of these articles. This is by Steve Molesky. Possible alluding to where Means might fit in. As you can see, John Means is getting very close to rejoining the Orioles. And I'm like very close. I'm hoping a day or 2. Hopefully, he will join the team tomorrow. Now, he pitched his final rehab start, I think it was last night. So he's eligible to come off the IL Friday, I think. Now, before the game, Brandon Hyde mentioned that Orioles are going to go back to a 5-man rotation. So, Bradish, and as you can see here in the article, Bradish, Flaherty, Rodriguez are tentative schedule for Boston. And that'll go along with Kramer and Gibson in the 5-man rotation. Cole Irvin going back to the bullpen. Long guy, or whenever Brandon Hyde feels like using him. Now there's still an opening spot on the 40-man roster. Potentially leaving that available for John Means, who would come out of the current pitching staff on the 28-man roster. Not sure, but there are options. You have options. You even have the ability to maybe, if you want to, go back to a 6-man rotation with John Means, though Brandon Hyde did mention that was probably not going to be the case with 20 games left until the playoffs start. I'm going to start trimming down the rotation because you only need like 4 starters, if that, in the playoffs. But there may be a spot start available here and or there. But it does seem like the Orioles as an organization do want to get John Means back. Hopefully that happens. Check the standings out. All right, let's hit the refresh button. Make sure I'm refreshed. Learn my lesson from last time. The Orioles are on a 5-game winning streak. They dropped that first game with the Arizona Diamondbacks and won the last 2, so 5. Tampa Bay is 3.5 games back. Blue Jays 11.5, Red Sox 16.5, Yankees 18 games back. Literally, they are on a 5-game winning streak. Who have they been playing? Themselves? Let's make sure this is refreshed. Yankees are on a 5-game winning streak. How is that possible? They are above 500. That is so disappointing. Oh well. Minnesota's doing their thing. Looks like Houston has taken over in the AL West. Mariners are number 2. Rangers are 3. Braves are just continuing to get those wins. But I mean, they are a great organization. They have been for a very long time. It's not unexpected at all. All right. Orioles headed to Boston. Today is Thursday. The Orioles have an off day for traveling purposes. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be in Boston. Friday, 7:10 p.m. Saturday, 4:10 p.m. Sunday, 1:35 p.m. Those are scheduled start times. So, the Orioles have not been in Boston since the first series of... Was it the first series of the year? Well, I can look, can't I? Yep. It's the first 3 games of this season. The Orioles had not been to Boston. And, well, they will play a 4-game series with Boston at Camden Yards to end this season. Tentatively, I think Chris Sale is going to make his comeback or a start in this one. We will see which one. Hasn't been officially announced yet, but Red Sox are not playing well this season. You can tell by their record. Hopefully, the Orioles can keep up this great road trip and get some more wins in Boston. Okay. No day off, but so I'm going to have to do my next show Monday, where I'll talk about the Red Sox series. That is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Stay tuned. Monday evening-ish time for the episode about the Red Sox. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.